Hello, Arkansas Arts Academy parents and students. I'm Jerry Price. I'm the principal at the high school. I wanted to put out some information for you today about our academic pathways. So what we're going to do is do a little recording here going through the different academic pathways that your students can choose from. These are just examples. Nothing is set in stone on any of these. But what we wanted to do is just kind of show you what is available for your students when it comes to choosing their English classes, their math classes, etc. So let me get my screen sharing going on here. All right. And kind of move some stuff out of my way. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to look at today are some flow charts for the various academic pathways at Arkansas Arts Academy. We've created a set of sample pathways, and what's cool about these pathways is that students aren't locked into a singular pathway, but there are various on-ramps and off-ramps that they can take as their goals change and develop over time. I want to show you how to read the flow charts. So the first thing that you need to see is that there are different columns. Each column represents a pathway for, in this case, it's an English flow chart. As you are on the far left side, those are just the on-grade level pathways. This is most students, just regular students moving from sixth grade English to seventh to eighth. Then, as you move to the right, the pathways will become a little bit more advanced. And so if you're just looking at regular student, they should just go to the far left column and walk their way down to the bottom. If you're looking at potential ways to advance into honors and then even an advanced honors pathway, you would move to the columns that are further to the right. In each box, there are two pieces of information. The student's grade level is on the top. So for example, this arrow right here is pointing to what the current grade level of the student is. Sixth grade English, they take English 6. But if you move over here, what you might be able to see that a ninth grade student could potentially take honors 10th grade English. So this is their actual grade level, and this is their chosen course for that year as we advance down the pathway. So the other thing to notice is that there are different kinds of arrows. These diagonal arrows just simply show that a student is moving from one pathway to another. So for example, this student right here could go sixth grade, in the sixth grade, take sixth grade English. Then in the seventh grade, take seventh grade English. But notice there's a diagonal arrow that would indicate this student could go ahead and advance to the honors pathway during the eighth grade. And so that's the solid diagonal arrows. We also have these dotted lines with arrows at the end. The dotted lines indicate students that might be considered for skipping a grade. They might qualify to skip, for example, in this one, sixth grade English in the beginning. They're in sixth grade English. They're a sixth grade student in sixth grade English. But we may see that they are very advanced and they may qualify to skip over seventh grade English, and they would be a seventh grade student, but in eighth grade honors English. Also, they could do sixth grade English, seventh grade English through this like honors seventh grade English, then be considered to skip the eighth grade English and go into honors ninth grade English. So the dotted lines represent students that might be considered for skipping a grade if they qualified. Next, let's take a look at the English course offerings. And there's a lot going on this page, but I just want to kind of walk you through far left. The far left right here is just an on-grade level student. They basically go from 6th, 7th to 8th to 9th. They just walk through the English courses. As you move to the right, it becomes a little bit more advanced. And then as you move to the left, it becomes even more advanced. On the next slides, I'm going to break it out. So I'll show you this pathway broken out into just that singular pathway. What you see here is this student, sixth grade, in the sixth grade, takes sixth grade English. In the seventh grade, takes seventh grade English, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and so on. Foundational set of skills, they'll get a great education doing that. But whenever we look at the flow chart, you'll see these diagonal arrows where they can on-ramp to a more honors or accelerated pathway. So that first accelerated pathway or honors pathway would be a 7th grade student that takes honors English 7th, and then an 8th grade student that takes honors English 8, and then they just follow a general honors pathway. For students that are very advanced, we might consider looking at a more advanced pathway, which is represented by the far right column in the whole pathway chart. And so they would go from 7th grade, in 7th grade English, skipping 7th grade English, and take honors 8th grade English. They have to meet qualifications, and there are 3 parameters that we're using for skipping grades: Atlas scores, grades, just report card grades, and then teacher recommendations. And so we will look at that. If you want to be considered for this, we would reach out to you automatically for some students. But others, if you want to consider an advanced pathway, you can reach out to me and we will look at the parameters and see if your student qualifies. In this pathway, when a student hits the 9th grade, they are in 10th grade English. But in the 10th grade, they can begin taking concurrent credit composition 1, which is a college class, or AP English language and composition. We generally recommend the AP language and composition course as sort of the first really advanced pathway for English. After that, we recommend either AP Lit or concurrent credit comp 2, depending on the score on this AP test for English Lang. And then the 12th grade year, we want students to complete that pathway by taking whichever course they have not taken. But our goals are that they get through Comp 1 and Comp 2, whether that is by scoring a 3, 4, or 5 on the AP Lang test here. They score a 3, they get Comp 1 credit. And then we would move them to Comp 2. If they score below a 3, then we would want them to be in Comp 1 and then take Comp 2. Though this will become more clear as time goes on and students advance through the courses, their English teachers will help walk them through. So a 10th grade student will probably already understand that, but a 7th grade student going into the 8th grade, I think the main thing to comprehend is just which is the next course in your sequence for the goals that you have. Looking at the math flow chart, it's really, really busy. So this is one where I'm going to give the overall point of view here, and then we can go into the different pathways. Looking at the far left, a student is just generally an on-level student. The next pathway over shows where a student can begin to advance. So we're going to start offering, Ms. Carruthers at the elementary school has decided to start offering an honors challenge for 6th grade math students who are showing some very high level thinking, higher order thinking skills. They're making great grades. Their Atlas scores are high. They'll be offered the opportunity to do an honors challenge. They're working on that process right now. Then in the 7th grade, you will have an opportunity to take 7th grade math with an honors challenge, or a student could skip over and a very advanced student, by the way, not just any student, but a very advanced student could take 8th grade honors algebra 1. And so that could be, so let me backtrack just a little bit. 7th grade, this student could take honors math, and then after that, advance to doubling up their math courses with honors algebra 1 and honors geometry. So in 8th grade, this is an extremely advanced student that would take honors algebra 1 and honors geometry. But for most advanced students, what we do is we take 7th grade math, would be the math 7 with an honors challenge. And then in the 8th grade, those students would take honors algebra 1. So that's kind of like skipping over 8th grade math. This honors challenge is prepping them with a lot of pre-algebra skills to be prepared for algebra 1. That student would then advance into honors geometry. A very advanced student could go 7th grade math with an honors challenge, eighth grade honors algebra 1 in the eighth grade. In the ninth grade, jump over here and take both honors geometry and honors algebra 2. This is a very typical place to double up math. If we show success in honors algebra 1, then we know that a student is prepared to double up algebra or geometry and algebra 2. So typical progression, it's not typical for students to double math in the eighth grade. It is fairly typical for students who are that high level math student to advance in the ninth grade. And to explain the rest of these, the rest of this set of pathways, what we want to do is we really want to wait on that until a student is at least through the ninth grade, and then their math teachers will start to explain these different options that we are suggesting for students as they advance into the 10th and 11th and 12th grade. So if you want to see more, whenever you look at our pathways, you can see the broken out portions of those pathways. I'm just going to click through these because what I want you to do is really take this information and study those pathways and then talk to your math teacher about how you would be affected for this pathway and which would be the best route for you. This one just shows the breakout of those. So now let's look at science. As always, the far left indicates an on-level student and what they can do. So an on-level student, we'll just click into that pathway. An on-level student is in seventh grade, they take seventh grade science. Eighth grade, they take eighth grade science. Ninth grade, physical science. 10th grade, biology. In this state of Arkansas, every student must have physical science and biology. Their third science they can choose. They can choose to take chemistry, environmental science, or anatomy and physiology. They can also take a computer science class to complete that third science, and that would work as well. The typical student will take chemistry if they are college bound, and then if they are very interested in other things like the medical field, they could also add in anatomy and physiology as a fourth science down here. Most kids take eighth grade science, physical science, biology, and chemistry, and that finishes their high school set of sciences. The rest of these pathways are the advanced pathways. So an advanced student would take an honors seventh grade science, then they could take honors eighth grade science, or they could skip eighth grade science and go into honors physical science. This is very typical for our advanced students to take physical science in the eighth grade and algebra 1 in the eighth grade. And those are both high school credits. The student could then go on to a more set of advanced pathways, taking biology, honors biology. So right here, the eighth grade, honors physical science, but then the ninth grade, go ahead and take biology. Or a super advanced student could take AP biology or concurrent credit biology, but we do not recommend that. We recommend that an advanced student take honors physical science in the eighth grade, biology in the 10th grade, then or double up with chemistry in the 10th grade, and then move through the pathway as their goals match. But typically, for just a typical advanced pathway student for the sciences, they take seventh grade honors science, ninth grade physical science in the eighth grade, then they take biology or double biology and chemistry in the ninth grade, and then they go into AP biology or AP chemistry or the concurrent credit biology offerings after that. So we won't go into a whole lot of detail beyond the 10th grade because we're really just focused on the younger grades and the pathways that they can take. Your science teachers can explain exactly what you should do based on your goals and your pathway ahead. History, it's a fairly simple progression. Basically, the far left, you'll see just a simple progression. The basics are that high school students must take U.S. history, they must take pre-AP, or they must take world history, and then government or civics, and then economics. That's the basic pathway, 3 credits in the courses. But our advanced pathways are that we can advance students by allowing them to skip some grades. And then primarily we advance students by putting them in the honors pathway and then giving them a series of AP and concurrent credit classes. So for example, by the 11th grade, they are taking, rather than taking regular civics and econ, they would take AP US history, and then they could take concurrent credit American government, concurrent credit economics, rather than the regular on level civics and economics. And those are college classes. We also encourage students as early as the ninth grade to take AP psychology. This is an elective credit for high school, but it does check a box for a college degree. In Arkansas, students have to have 9 hours of social sciences to get a college bachelor's degree, and AP psychology, if they score a 3, 4, or 5, they get that general psychology credit. We also think a good option for students is to take concurrent credit psychology, like we have indicated down here in the bottom. As you study these pathways, think about far left, just on grade level, and as you move to the right, different ways to advance your coursework to work towards college credits through AP classes or through concurrent credit classes. This is how the pathways are broken out for history. I'm not going to go through every detail. It really just requires studying those. We are also opening up what I call the 60 plus club. We have the 60 plus, the 45 plus, and the 30 plus. These are pathways for students so that they can advance their studies to reach the equivalent of an associate's degree while they're still in high school. Most students won't do that. It takes a lot of college classes to do that. But what I love about it is that they are working toward fulfilling high school graduation credits while at the same time fulfilling credits towards a bachelor's degree in the state of Arkansas. We do this with a combination of AP classes and concurrent credit classes. And by the time they graduate, they can really stack up the college credits so that they are much closer to finishing college within, say, a 3-year range. For some, a bachelor's degree in as quickly as 2 years if they are very advanced. So remember that most college classes are 3-hour classes, and that just means that you're in class for 3 hours per week. So if you take a 3-hour college, a concurrent college class, you're actually in the class for 3 hours a week, and then you have to study quite a bit outside of that class to prepare for your test, your papers, whatever you might be working towards. So 60 college hours, or the 60 plus club, is roughly the equivalent of 20 classes, and that is between AP classes and concurrent credit classes. What I have here, and I'll send this out, you'll see, you'll have both this, you'll have this set of pathways. So this is the last slide in that set. What you're looking at here is the 60 plus club, looking at what a student might take before they get into high school: physical science and algebra 1. A very, very advanced student might also add an English class there for high school credit. But typically, physical science and algebra 1. Sometimes Spanish 1 when they're advanced, Spanish 1, and then in the ninth grade, Spanish 2. But if you look at the ninth grade, then the 10th grade, then the 11th and the 12th grade, you can kind of see what we suggest. If you were the student that took physical science and algebra 1 in the 8th grade, your pathway might look something like this: honors English in the 9th grade, potentially biology. If you took physical science in the 8th grade, you would go to biology or honors biology in the 9th grade. Then AP psychology, we recommend AP psychology as the first AP course that a student takes. In the past at Arkansas Arts Academy, students have taken AP US history in the 9th grade. We're changing that recommendation to be AP US history over here in the 11th grade. And that just allows students a little more developmental time and a couple of these AP courses under their belt in preparation for AP classes before they get to that US history, because that history class is one of the requirements for college graduation. So if they score a 3, 4, or 5 in AP US history, they check a box for college. And we feel like our scores for our students will go up quite a bit if we bump that to about the 11th grade. So the recommendation now is AP Psychology as the first AP class in the ninth grade. You could also take concurrent credit general psychology for college credit in the ninth grade. But if we take courses in the ninth grade that are concurrent credit, we have to pay for those courses, and it significantly increases the amount of money required. But we do recommend some classes like concurrent credit health during the ninth grade. We have a pilot going now where our students are working through concurrent credit health in the ninth grade and getting the first college class under their belt. We then would, if this student had taken Algebra 1 or Honors Algebra 1 in the eighth grade, they are ready for Honors Geometry. And then we move down into just taking regular classes like foreign language and whatnot there. If a student was wanting to really go into, they are successful in these in the ninth grade, then we start to ramp up the number of AP courses and or concurrent credit courses. So what you'll see here, the top line generally represents which AP course they might take that year. And then the bottom line is if they didn't want to take that AP course, which concurrent credit course they would take. So in this case, this sophomore is taking concurrent credit world history. And then down here, it says choose electives from the ACTS course list. And we explain that to students, but basically what I'm getting at is a student right here would choose another concurrent credit class to back up to that concurrent credit world history. So this might be the fall, and this would be the spring. They would choose another concurrent credit class to go there. In the math, we have lots of options here. So the progression would be eighth grade Algebra 1, ninth grade Honors Geometry, then Algebra 2, or doubling up of math classes in the ninth or the 10th grade here. And then going into AP Pre-Cal. And then after that, we recommend the concurrent credit survey of calculus. We do offer AP Calculus each year. So far in the last couple of years, it hasn't really had enough students to quote, make. We only have 3 to 5 students in it. This current year, we have 2 students taking concurrent credit survey of calculus, or actually, I think they're taking Calculus 1, so not survey, but Calculus 1. Lots of students take concurrent credit college algebra or quantitative reasoning, and those classes, any of those classes will fulfill the 4th math requirement that goes above Algebra 2. Every student has to take Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, and then they have to choose a 4th math, or they could choose that 4th math, for that 4th math to actually be the computer science class of their choice. So this, I'm not going to explain in tons of detail, but I want you to see it, and you can look at this 60 plus club. The main thing that you look at is counting up approximately 20 of these classes between AP classes and concurrent credit classes to hit the 60 plus club. And then we will honor at graduation every student that has the equivalent of 30 or more college hours, 45 or more college hours, and 60 or more college hours whenever they graduate. So that's what we were kind of going through today. I wanted to throw together this short video to help explain those. I know it's not tons of detail. If you have specific questions, feel free to catch me at SSP CAP conferences this Tuesday. Those are by appointment. You should have received something through your student or via email from your CAP advisor. And so looking forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. If you have other specific questions, you can also reach out to the teacher's math, science, social studies, or English teachers, your students, math, science, English, or social studies teacher, and they'll be able to help you with the next steps for your student. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and I hope this is a helpful video. Thank you.